Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first NJCAA Instructional webinar. I am Coach Sosa. I am the Esports Director for Salt Lake Community College, and I am here to present on Hearthstone, one of my personal favorite games and a game I used to compete in esports, but also one of the games that our program really supports, and we've seen a lot of benefit in incorporating it with some of our other games titles that we offer at SLCC. And hopefully this is the first of many instructional webinars where we as coaches get to plug and promote various game titles that we like to run in our program that may not be your more traditional or just the regular ones like League of Legends, Valorant, and Rocket League. And so hopefully you'll learn a bit more about the game, some facts about it, as well as maybe some of you will be convinced to start hosting some Hearthstone players within your program and be able to play this game more on your campuses. And so just kind of going through this presentation, we're going to talk about some of the pros of the game, give you a breakdown of some resources that you can use, and how we structure it here at SLCC. So first, why Hearthstone? The main thing is, especially for all esport directors, and I like everyone to know this, it is the main CCG within esports. A lot of our students play card games. They may play Marvel Snap, Magic Arena, Yu-Gi-Oh! But Hearthstone is the only one that promotes itself as an esport. We have first-hand accounts as well as second-hand confirmation from many people on the competition committee that many of the other digital card games, if we were to try to promote it and try to have a league with it, that we could potentially run into snags with streaming or Nintendo-like restrictions in which you can only play the game in certain ways and not in a normal league. So if you are wanting to add a card game to the NJCAA, this is it. The other thing that this Hearthstone helps do is to activate the card game players on your campus. There are a lot of nerdy kids who are both gamers but also not gamers, as well as those students who may not necessarily be into your traditional esports, like your WoW players. I've seen many students who play WoW and then they think, "Oh, you have Hearthstone? Like, I'll give it a try." And we've had them join the team from time to time. It also acts as a great secondary game with low commitment compared to some of our other more traditional esport titles. Many of my Hearthstone players, they play both Hearthstone and Overwatch or League of Legends, or even right now I have a player where their main game is Tekken, but then they also play Hearthstone on the side. And so rather than trying to find more tournaments for your students, you can help activate them and just give them another game to play within this league. It is also one of the rare CCGs that still has the ability to earn in-game currency to have your collection for free. Not many of the other digital card games are you able to collect your cards and craft cards without having to spend money eventually. Hearthstone is still very friendly to that. They understand that there's a large portion of their player base that plays for free, and then other players help support that through the items that are purchasable within the game, cosmetics, fancy-looking cards, etc. But for a lot of the college students, even though we have had a lot of really high-level players, there have been very few who have needed to actually spend any money on the game as long as they are consistent in playing the game like every so often, every day or every week, kind of at their own pace. Some other benefits we've seen adding Hearthstone to our program is that we have seen that Hearthstone is now the main card game that is connected both on the high school level all the way up through the four-year college level through Play Versus. It is the main collectible card game that they help with esports to have. It's also a good streaming training ground where if you want to teach some of your students who do streams, how to do better play-by-play or color casting, because it is very much, there's time in between turns to commentate on the cards, which then helps them get into the rhythm of casting. Also, there's no entry-level costs and minimal equipment costs. We've had some players who only play Hearthstone on their phone. Or if you have some older gaming machines, then they can easily run Hearthstone, and there's no graphics in this. It's just turn-based. So it's very low on the equipment end if you're hoping to add more games instead of having to add more dedicated computers. You can play it on tablet even, if a student has that. Or even I've seen a couple Chromebooks boot up Hearthstone pretty well, and they can play it from there. Also with Hearthstone, and any card game really, there's a high chance of rotation in the top level players. Even though we already exist in the 2-year circuit and some schools are really known for one game or another, I have seen here, even though we've done pretty good in Hearthstone, we've won 3 national titles, but we haven't won all of them because one expansion set my player may be really good at. Another one, my player just really is bad at it. There's no decks that really gel with how they want to play the game. And so, this is a picture of when we won our first national title. The student in the middle was the one who won nationals. Student on the right was the one who was the D3 champion for that semester. He was an Overwatch player. He's like, hey, I'll give it a try. Didn't really have many of the cards. Played through D3. He's like, hey, I really like the strategy of this. Like, wonder how far I can go in the opt-in. And then he made it all the way. And later on, he was the player who helped us win the other 2 national titles that we have in Hearthstone. But in general, even last spring, he won, but the fall before that just completely got stomped. There was another player in our program who absolutely was doing better than him in the given meta at the time. So there's a really high chance compared to some of our other titles that things will change, things will rotate. And if you're looking for that level of recognition as a D1 or varsity level esports title, this is a great one to jump into if you can support it. So one of the big benefits of Hearthstone is it's free. Not just in the sense that like all of our other esport titles are free, but in the sense that even though it's a collectible card game, it is one of the collectible card games where if you work at it, you will be able to continue to play it for free. So by kind of following these 3 steps that I guide students through in their first semester, they get enough in-game currency, they do what they need to do, they get used to the patterns in the game, they start learning the deck lists. By their second semester, they are ready to compete at top level for Hearthstone. So as long as they complete their daily and weekly quests, which some of them can be done in 1 match, some of them maybe take 2 or 3, they will earn enough experience in the game to get through the free portion of the battle pass. Just like any other esport game, yes, there's a battle pass, but that battle pass helps you earn in-game currency way more than some of our other esport titles. So you are never having to buy into a battle pass to then hope you earn credits to buy the next battle pass. All the in-game currency for buying packs is there because they want people to open packs. And then Hearthstone also offers a lot of in-game events pretty much all the time these days. Used to be rare, but nowadays, like, there's almost an event constantly going on where then you get more free packs, you get cosmetics, all sorts of stuff. And so even those event quests help you earn progress towards more free cards and free stuff. If you have a student who works through 1 expansion cycle's battle pass, they will earn a minimum of 5,000 gold, which is roughly the equivalent of $50 worth of packs that they can buy. There is a max of gold that they can earn up to 20,000. That's the equivalent of $150 or more, depending on what they decide to purchase with that gold. So I myself, I love playing Hearthstone. I earn roughly 15,000 of gold each cycle, which helps me to just continually keep purchasing the rest. It is also one of the few digital CCGs that are one of the big name ones that allows you to craft cards within the system itself. So if you pull a card that you already have, or there's a card you pulled and you don't need it, you can disenchant it for dust, and then that dust can be used to craft the cards you do need. That is definitely unique compared to some of the other CCGs where it's spend money or nothing else. Hearthstone, even when they do nerfs to cards or buffs to cards, there will be a time period in which they warn you and say, hey, if you disenchant this card, we're going to give you a full refund for that card so you can build whatever else you want for your deck. So, really free to play friendly. It just takes a little while to get into the system. But if you have students who are willing to do it, then they pretty much are D1 ready the semester after, because that is also enough experience in the game to kind of learn how it works. There's a YouTube channel called Hearthstone Mathematics that has run all sorts of data about the game, win ratios, our expansion's good, but they also did a video of like, how do you actually do this for free? Like if you wanted every single card in the expansion, no matter what would you have to do? And this is kind of a visual breakdown of that. Like, well, if you do all your quests all the day and you participate on all the promos and the different achievements to help you earn more gold or experience through the pass. Did you rank up enough? Like, did you log on a certain day? Twitch drops. They do Twitch drops closer to the end of an expansion or towards the beginning, or when they have a big esports tournament like the World Tournament, like bet on your favorite player and earn some packs. Not with real money, just vote for who you think will win. And so either roughly, if you play enough per day, or if you invest a little bit of money, you will have every single card, every expansion. If you play a lot, like I do, then you don't even have to pay that money amount. You will just have all the cards you need per expansion. So again, this is kind of a visual breakdown of that they did and showing exactly how many packs you would need, etc. Now, in regards to our season schedules within the league, there are some things to be aware of if you do decide to start a Hearthstone team. And that every expansion comes out. There are 3 a year. And then there are also 3 what are called mini sets, or like quick, smaller expansions in between those. So 6 sets of card releases per year. During the summer, if you have students who are wanting to get in Hearthstone, they can easily practice. There will be 1 mini set and 1 regular set around June or around July or August. And then that's kind of the main summer thing. But during fall, usually the season will start around the same time that a mini set is released, where it comes with like some buffs or cards that help certain strategies come about. It usually costs around 2,000 gold or $15. So again, you can spend real money or just use the gold you've earned. And then they will have that for the first few weeks of the season. And then usually around regional playoffs, they will have the next expansion release. So either really at the end of the season or right before regionals is when you can expect a big new expansion to come out. This past fall, the expansion came out during week 6 of the season, so we got 2 weeks of that before regional playoffs started. So again, mid-November, early December is when they release that fall expansion. Then during spring, similar thing. Kids go on Christmas break, they come back. There's usually a mini set somewhere around there in January. Then the season starts in February. And then you play through the first few weeks or month and a half. And then around playoffs again, around late March, early April, is when the next big expansion comes out. So even if you have students who aren't wanting to invest in the next expansion, they can kind of save up their in-game gold for if the situation calls for it. So if they didn't make playoffs and the expansion's coming out, then they could kind of wait until the next one if they want to play Hearthstone that way even. Organizing your teams is really easy in Hearthstone. The ranks are reset monthly, so it really is just, did somebody play the game when they could? And it also helps tell you like the rough skill levels, or at least mental understanding, even if they don't have all the cards. Plenty of people still play Hearthstone. It is the third highest played digital CCG right now still, and not everyone at high ranks are necessarily the best. It's just about the time and do you have the strategy. So in general, if they are bronze or silver ranked, and I go by the highest rank they've earned at any point in time, because it is reset monthly. And part of the reset monthly is rewards or free packs given to you and free cards based on how high you ranked. But bronze to silver, I generally say, hey, play it casually. Play a semester, get used to the game, climb the ladder. Gold to platinum, they could easily participate in D1 play. It may be a struggle, they may win some, they may lose some, but in general, they will have enough in-game experience or most of a collection to craft a couple good decks and keep climbing up the ladder and having more wins than losses. Diamond to legend, if they're there, they're immediately going to do well in D1. One of my League of Legends players, he like dabbled in Hearthstone many years ago, and then he's like, hey, we do that at school, like I'll pick it up again. And during a Christmas break, he got to legend, and he's like in our Discord saying, is that a good thing? Like, it says I'm legend 20,500, and I'm like, but if you can still get there, like, you're more than good enough. And sure enough, the next semester he joined, like, he made regionals, he made nationals, and like did perfectly well. So if they've ever placed in Diamond or Legend, they know the game well enough to be ready for D1 play if they're willing to commit to full-time status and the grades and all the other requirements we have for varsity play. Broadcasting and esports. Again, Hearthstone is a great way to promote your program among your student body because card games are really easy to broadcast and understand and tell them about it. But it's also a really easy broadcast material to have. So if your program does a lot of broadcasting, you can generate a lot of content out of Hearthstone, whether it be practice matches or matches against each other. If you have multiple members on the team within D1 or D3, like, it's very friendly as to observing both hands if you want to broadcast that. But also, again, just as a reminder, this is the main online CCG where it is actively promoted as an esport. Blizzard has announced Worlds. The pro regionals are all online and open qualifiers, so anyone can register for them. And it is very much being promoted still as the esport for collectible card games. And so you broadcasting it within your program, you won't run into any problems either with Blizzard and using that IP to promote esports in your program. I myself, even though I've had admin watch a game of Rocket League or a game of Valorant, when I show them Hearthstone, it makes them really understand that esports is more than about shooter games or more than about sports games. It's kind of for everyone. And I explain, hey, it's an online card game. Like, they're just playing cards. And the light bulb kind of clicks for some of my administrators. I'm like, oh, esports really can reach a lot of different students. So here's some streaming examples. Top left is Boise State. Again, I was able to compete with them for a semester in Hearthstone, even though it was just a club level. I didn't get a fancy coach or anything. I was the coach myself. But they just showed the school logos and some advertisements, and were able to have casters casting that match. You can also stream kind of like on the far right, what we do here at Slick. I found an overlay online, kind of changed it up. We show what deck classes and what schools versus who. We're still experimenting with different layouts. I'm trying to find one that I personally kind of gel with. Or you can have no overlay. Like in the bottom middle one, that's just a recording we have of 2 of our own students playing in a match. We recorded both hands to then be played back later with our overlay on it. And again, just really easy material to generate if you're looking for more content to broadcast. Here are some helpful resources if you choose to dive into Hearthstone. HS Replay is a website that contains both metadata, but is also a deck tracker. Deck trackers are allowed in Hearthstone. Anything you can write on paper, the program, we accept that programs can do that too. It is very common within Hearthstone tournaments to share deck lists these days, so you can see every card they've played, every card that they could play. Another resource is HS Guru, another metadata site that collects all the different kinds of decks and what people are playing, and people donate generous amounts of data to see what decks they think are best. There's also a deck viewer within there, so you can take the codes from the game, put it into the website, and then you can share the URL of the website with your opponent so they can easily share deck lists rather than messaging back and forth in game. There's also another website called HS Deck Viewer, just another website where you can add in the deck codes, share it with your opponent, share the links, and share your deck list that way. And then YouTube. There's a lot of Hearthstone content on YouTube, and a lot of content creators who still make a living with Hearthstone content. There are a lot fewer in the other CCGs online, but Hearthstone is still really strong. This is also for those wanting deck explanations, or what cards were good, what cards were bad, what buffs or nerfs are going to do in the next set, things like that. YouTube's also a really great source for what are called budget decks, as I'll show you in a second. If you don't have a ton of dust or a ton of cards, you can generally find budget decks or things that are friendly to those who are trying to play the game for free. And so we're going to jump into the actual game. I'll show you some of the menu things, some of the things around there, and what we've talked about, especially with some of those resources. So if you ever need to look back on this video, you could, and kind of use those resources to help your students learn more about Hearthstone. So we will go ahead and jump straight into those various websites. And so here's that first website, HS Replay. So as we can see, we have various decks, their win percentage at certain ranks. There is a premium level of an account you can have with this deck or with this website, but you don't have to view like most of the information or majority of what's there. There's a meta tab up here, so kind of grading different deck lists where then I can see, oh, maybe I want to build one of these decks. So like we'll use this one, for example, Elemental Mage, mage class that has a bunch of elementals in it. Shows me what it's best against, what are popular cards in the deck, what are the best performing cards in the deck. Like there's so much data you can go through. Worst matchup, so this will help your students know, like, hey, if they have a Death Knight left and I have 2 decks choices left, like maybe I probably shouldn't use this mage deck. There's a tab here for popular decks, and this even shows the amount of dust needed if you were to craft the deck from nothing. So, as well as any streamers who may be streaming that particular deck. So, lots of data to dig through, all the different cards, but what's handy here is this copy deck. I'm going to click on that for now, and it'll save it to my clipboard. And I can plug that into the game, or I can plug that into some of these other websites. So like that third website, the deck viewer, I have a deck code. I've copied it. I paste it. Sometimes you need to get rid of some of the extra jargon in there. Let's try that again. Nope. we'll try it through a different one. But the second website, HS Guru, similar meta deck type metadata website. You can click here meta, go to standard, and then it shows the win ratios for different decks, the nicknames for those various decks. So let's say I want to look at that elemental mage again. I could click there. It shows different matchups that are great. But where's the decks? Well, up here at the top, different decks. This is the main deck a lot of people have programmed their data into. So again, I can click that, copy, and then this website also has its own deck viewer. So I can take that code, paste it in, ta-da. And then I can still show all my different decks that I'm bringing for the day, copy the URL, share with my opponent. If that doesn't work, I know Play Versus has a limited amount of characters. You can always click the little copy icon and it'll just copy the code directly to share with your opponent. So same thing with the other website. This time it should work. There we go. So same thing with that code. Let's actually jump in game now for a bit. We'll reconnect here. So here's in game. Once your students make it past the tutorial, this is what the menu should look like. Hearthstone also has a really good tutorial system where they teach you all the basics about the game. They give you some practice against the computer for a bit. And then once you're out of the tutorial, then you're up against like real live other players. But the main mode is here, Hearthstone. You can ignore Battlegrounds, you can ignore Arena. Modes, there's an option to face against the computer in there. But this is where you will see your decks after you've made them. Once you beat the tutorial, Blizzard offers you a free what is called ladder ready deck. So it's a high ranking deck and they just let you pick one for free and you get all the cards in that deck. So this is the school account. Recently they did an event where you just get one for free. So I have 2 of them here in the school account. Here is my current rank for the month. It is reset because it's the beginning of December. And then you have your various classes. So if I were to go to my collection, here's all the cards that the school account owns. If I were to click new deck, that same code that I had earlier is saved to the clipboard, and it automatically begins to fill the deck with what cards I do own and what cards I don't own. So this is great for students where it's like, I kind of like the idea of this deck, but I don't know if I have all the cards. Well, the game does it for you. So these are the cards I do own, and this card, oh, I don't own it. Well, if I right click it, it will tell me how much dust I need to make that card, as well as if I go to, like, let's say I don't ever play this card. Then I can disenchant a card that I don't want in order to add more dust to my collection. But it shows me which ones of this mage deck I do and don't have. But even in game, they can say, hey, if I left click, then it'll show me replacements I can do, or I can go through my collection of cards itself and try to figure out how to replace that. So the UI itself is very friendly to helping you make decks and build decks and make cards that you don't have. And so even then I haven't finished building it, it'll still be there. Let's say here's this ladder ready priest deck that I earned with the school account. If I click copy, it has taken that deck code, and I can always go back to my website. And let's say I want to share deck lists among my fellow players. There it is. Same if I go with the other website. This one can be a little more finicky if it has too much extra text in it, but otherwise, there's the deck list. And so, within the game itself, If you click on this little quest, here we go. In the game itself, if I click on this little journal tab, this is where my daily and weekly quests exist. If there's an ongoing in-game event, it'll show the rewards for that event. I've currently completed the one that's active, but these last 2 slots will be for event stuff on the right-hand side. And then here is the battle pass itself. So if you noticed here at the bottom, here's all the free rewards. Up at the top is the paid rewards. There's a lot. So if your student's willing to collect the XP from doing the quests, completing achievements, they will earn a lot of packs, a lot of free cards. Some of the cards are gold or foil cards. Others are, if they go the paid route, are full art or signature cards. But there's just a lot to earn, even random cards of a certain rarity. And then notice how the gold amount just gets higher and higher. And then even if you max out the battle pass, then every level you earn after, you continue to earn gold up to level 400, which is where that cap of 20,000 gold-ish per expansion happens. So a lot of in-game gold that you can earn. And then even in the store itself, again, a majority of it is all cosmetic. You don't need to ever buy any of this as a student. Some of it is actually really good deals compared to actual physical cards. Like I know if I want to go buy 1 booster pack of Magic, I'm going to be spending at least $5. But 1 booster pack in Hearthstone, I'm spending like $1, $1.50 depending on the deal. But even if I ignore all these other ones like custom cards, deals that are specific to your account, the character skins, under packs, I can just buy a normal booster pack with gold, and 100 gold equals 1 pack, or essentially $1-ish. 2 packs is $3, so like $1.50 is the exchange rate for the gold. So even right here on the school account, I can buy 27 packs. Then when mini sets come out, they get added here to the little tab. They can be bought with money or gold. It always shows the shiny version first. Just ignore that. If you click on normal, 2,000 gold for all of these cards that help buff current archetypes or meta decks that are in the game currently from that expansion. So that's kind of the basics as you click around the menu. But I do hope you consider adding Hearthstone as one of the games that you can offer at your school. I know it's been of a great benefit to our program. If you ever have Hearthstone questions, or even if you want some of your players to get some Hearthstone coaching, I don't mind. I really love this game. I want to keep it in the league and keep it going strong as much as possible. And I will go ahead and go to my last slide. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to contact me by email at jsosa2@slcc.edu, or use the Discord Bamboozled. It is spelled incorrectly because when I made my gamer tag a long time ago when I was a teenager, I did not know how to spell the word, but it's turned out okay. So BAMBOOZALD. But I hope you enjoyed this instructional webinar, and I should be in the chat here if you have any questions. Thank you very much.